Mr. Finance Minister, I want to comment on an issue which is particularly close to my heart, and I was very pleased to see that the economic survey this time carries a large chapter on sustainable development. And I do want to thank you and the Chief Economic Advisor for that chapter. It is the case for sustainable development has been very well laid out in that chapter. And I think that over time, we need to be able to reflect the ideas that have been mentioned in the budget. And I'm specifically coming to issues on energy and on the issue of how industry can react to a much better situation on sustainable development. For instance, you can give special incentives for vehicles which have high energy efficiency, high fuel efficiency. You can do the same for electrical appliances. You can do the same for energy production. And I think there is a whole host of issues here which can be extremely beneficial. The Prime Minister's Council on Climate Change recommended a tariff, a tax on coal, which would fund renewable energy to go for solar energy and for wind energy and other forms of sustainable energy. And I think that India actually is one of the very few countries in the world which have done this. And this is great kudos for us to have done it. But at the same time, when you give the signal of rolling back import duty on coal, I think that there is a bit of a disconnect there. So I'm trying to say, basically, that let us have a dialogue with you, with the Finance Ministry, on how we can actually change the way taxation is done and the incentives that are made today by moving to sustainable development incentives. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I do agree with you that there should be, first of all, I would like to say on all issues, not only on energy, but on all issues, we are always ready to have dialogue and to understand each other's point and try to get it implemented. But here in another sector, I will require your support and also in your own way, industry, leaders of the industry, if they can carry the message that why we require energy and how all sources of energy are to be tapped. I will give you just one example of the nuclear energy. Thank God that we have been able to resolve the issues of the Kudankulam. Almost every state which earlier showed its interest for the nuclear power plant are coming back and agitation is going on about the acquisition of the land, because some accident in some parts of the world has completely shaken, and just shut your eyes. I am not going to mention the states. Each and every state agitation is going on. The agitation in Kudankulam, whatever damage has taken place in regard to the production. Take the case of Hon'ble. 3 projects starting from Lohari Nagpala to the upstream of 100 kilometers of Bhagirathi, we had to abandon. Just yesterday's newspaper, you have seen a photograph. I am not making any comment on any individual, that he underwent fast for demanding that not up to 100 kilometers, my commitment had been that from Gangotri to 100 kilometers, there will be no hydel power plant. 3 existing power plants, including Lohari Nagpala, where investment has been made by NHPC to the extent of 700 crores, have been abandoned. But even in the downstream on the run of the river projects, agitations are going on. So, hydel sources exploitation are becoming more and more difficult. Capacity building in the nuclear sector, even after civil nuclear cooperation agreement, taking the risk of the existence of government, we entered into it, got rich dividend. With 3 major countries, we have entered into arrangements. but domestic agitations are going on. Therefore, taxation issues, coal linkage, coal production, fine. But the other sources of the energy, because country is having energy famine, in almost no 5-year plan, we have reached the target. In no 5-year plan. Last 5-year plan, our target was 78,000 megawatts. Revised target was 62,000 megawatts. And ultimately, we will not be achieved more than 55,000 megawatts. Solar energy, wind energy, other non-conventional energy, we are giving emphasis. But the major sources of the energy, if we cannot build up some sort of consensus, whether it is Subansiri project in Arunachal, or whether it is a project in Uttarkashi as run of the river project on Ganges, if everywhere the agitation starts, then how the energy requirement from multiple sources could be met? Substantially, we are finding the problems. These are the practical problems which are, it's just like the where the shoe pinches. It's not a theoretical proposition. Even if we want to substitute our low quality coal by high quality coal, the type of the capacity of the port to handle and the transport arrangements which are to be made are so vast that it is really becoming a challenging task. And where we could have achieved much more without making any problem, but unless we change our mindset and give up the agitation on this plea or that plea, that's the issue. Kaushik, would you like to add anything?
Just literally one word, that this is the intersection between energy, sustainability and economic growth. Very often these are treated as two separate compartments. But it was really with this in mind that it ought to be an integral part of our macroeconomic path that the chapter was brought in. And the energy requirements of our country are huge, but we have to do it keeping in mind the sustainability and the other fallouts of that. So I just wanted to emphasize that. Thank you.